We are back. And not only are we back, we go talk about this FCS playoffs. I'm telling you what we gonna do. That's what we gonna do. We gonna talk about this playoff. Not the BCS playoff, the FCS playoff. That's what we gonna do. All right. So for those who don't know, for those who do know, you know. I'm not going through all of the history, the context, none of that. We got to get into it. We got a lot to do today. The holidays around the corner. We cover college on the AM hour. On the PM hour, we cover NFL, which is not for long. And so the FCA. Look, I love the playoff selection committee. They never get it right. What is football without a little drama? A TV show. And so, yeah, kudos to the selection committee. If you've never been a part of a selection, to see your team name go across that screen as in, you don't know what you're missing. That's why I love talking FCS in round one. Okay, so just so those who want to know, the round one starts November 26th, obviously after Thanksgiving. So what made these games what makes the playoffs for FCS exciting and awesome, it allows the family to gather around and see or go to the games and have Thanksgiving with the ball club. At least that's how we did it. The whole, because you're on the road during Thanksgiving. So you don't have the luxury to be like, we going to our family house for Thanksgiving. Your Thanksgiving reward is you get to play on TV. You get to be in a hotel. You get to invite your family to whatever hotel y'all going to be playing at. That's your gift for having a great season. That's what you can be thankful for. And so, as we go into Thanksgiving, the FCS playoffs, I'm going to give you the first round, okay? And I'm going to give you the first round in its totality, and then I'm going to give you my upset picks. Because outside of that, what's a pick if it's not an upset? All right, so here we go. Round one, Elon at Furman. If you don't know, Eli used to be in the Southern Conference. They're now in the CAA, and they got in. The selection committee let them in. Okay. Davidson at Richmond. I got people at Elon. I got people at Davidson. I no longer have people at Richmond. No. You got Davidson at Richmond. You got St. Francis at Delaware. You have Fordham at UNH. That's University of New Hampshire. You have North Dakota at Weber State. Gardner-Webb, they're back at Eastern Kentucky University. Idaho, who dropped down to the FCS, who for years was an FBS opponent. FBS opponent, but it didn't work out, and so they dropped down. They are in the playoffs. They have Southeast Louisiana. And then you have M.O.V.E. at Montana. Now, I probably should do this because I don't know who M.O.V.E. is officially. So let's just kind of get some clarity on that. It's SEMO is how they, Southern Missouri State. I'll be John Brown there. Pun intended. Okay. Let me go through my picks. All right, I'm going to talk to you about the players to watch. This is the FCS NCAA Players to Watch edition. All right, and these are my sleepers. These are my underdogs who will perform in a top dog way, beating the opponent at their home field. Starting off, Elon at Furman. The PTW, players to watch. Okay, look, this Elon defense is a I don't want to give no defensive strategies, the secrets away, but this defense is a championship defense by way of their coaching staff. Yes, their coaching staff has a national championship. Their coaching staff has been in the FCS national playoffs. Their coaching staff is well equipped to handle the multiple different type of teams that they're going to see, and with a 5-day prep or game plan turnaround to get it done. Because you might not have any familiarity with the team that you play. So Elon, though they're familiar with the team by way of geographical location, right? They play Furman. Elon is in North Carolina. Furman is in South Carolina. This is what you would say is a rival. It's in my wife's family home state, Greenville, South Carolina. They will not be going to that game. They will be going to the Clemson, South Carolina game, most likely. I digress. So, players to watch on Elon squad. Shout out to my cousin Elon. All right, but this is Elon University. Okay, Marcus Hillman. Okay, this kid is a linebacker. He got 64 tackles. You're probably not thinking much of the tackles, but here's what I will say. These 64 tackles is accompanied with 6 sacks. What does that tell you? Pressure. And where is that pressure coming from? Second level. Player to watch. Okay, another player to watch. Omar Rogers. Okay, this dude is their hybrid safety. He's a little bit of everywhere. He covers the slot. He comes off the edge. He can play safety. Because they're a 3-3 defense, I love that 3-3 stack, baby. I love it. 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 And this kid's a playmaker. He's leading the team with 3 picks, but he also has 51 tackles and 2 sacks. So, like, the kid is as well as physical as he is as athletic. He's a player to watch this week for Elon. Okay, that's the defense. I start with defense because some of my listeners and some of my former players has made it clear that I've been very, very offensive biased. Have I turned into a Jedi? I hope not. Oh, that does not look good on you. All right, let's keep rolling. All right, the offensive players to watch for Elon University, Matt McKay. I'm not sure either way. This dude threw the ball for 2,400 yards, 21 touchdowns, and only 4 picks. That's something to watch. This dude got something to him. And not only does he, he throws the ball well, clearly the thrower for 21 touchdowns. But the scary part is that's not the number 1 touchdown thrower in the league, but is up there in the country. And he has a good receiver to throw into. This kid, whenever you're able to get 1,000 yards receiving, you got something to you. But if you can get it in a double-digit touchdown category with 1,000 yards, you got something to you. And so watch Jalen Hampton. He went for 1,000 yards this year, receiving and 10 touchdowns. And so because of that, I'm not discrediting Furman and what they do. I had an aspiration to be a defensive coordinator at Furman earlier in my career, but clearly that didn't work out. And so I'm not going against Furman because of none of that. It's because I think Elon is dope. I like the head coach over there. I've already boasted him up. I just so happen I do know him, but that don't mean that I gotta like what he do. I like what he do, regardless if I know him or not. And I like what their program is doing. Doing it with defense and doing it with efficiency on offense. And he got to stud at quarterback to pull off that efficiency. And so What a good receiver. So check out Matt Mackey and Jalen Hampton. These dudes are putting up some numbers for real. All right, next game. This is the FCS playoff preview. I'm telling you, if you want to see some good football and see some future NFL players that you ever heard about, turn on your ESPN Plus and ESPN2 the weekend when they have them week games on. No disrespect to Army Navy. No disrespect to Army Navy. But outside of that, that's it. Ain't nothing else on. And so it's just a great opportunity for you to be well-versed with the next generation of draftees who are going to be in the NFL draft. Mark that. All right. Now, this team, you may never even heard of this team. You might not even know where this team is. That's why they have to put parentheses around this team. And when this team is St. Francis, PA, traveling over across the state. Now, this is, though Delaware sits underneath PA, but where they are in PA, Allentown, PA is a hike, dog. So this is still probably a 5-hour drive down to Delaware. Here's what you need to know. Delaware is going to be rocking. Delaware, I think, only sits 15. No, I think Delaware sits 10, but they packed that thing with 15. Let's confirm that. Delaware Stadium. I had a coach one time tell me, if you can't handle me yelling, you can't handle Delaware yelling at you. Oh, it was so cold. He was so cold for that. So cold. Because he had, I got to tell you, he was kind of right. Why am I saying all of this? St. Francis is in the middle of nowhere, PA, Allentown, PA. They're traveling to, I think this is their second playoff appearance since the head guy has gotten there. He's a good guy, NFL offensive lineman. Going to Delaware, playing at Delaware the weekend of Thanksgiving is going to be a hostile environment. Like Delaware, that's the only thing in Delaware. They tossing beer cans. You may get a shot of vodka thrown at you. That's how rocking Delaware is. And they gonna be on top of you. The Jumbotron gonna be lit. It's a 2 p.m. game, which is basically a night game. By the second half, it's gonna be dark. I mean, yeah, it's gonna be lit. But here's what, Coach. Okay, obviously you going with Delaware. No. I'm just telling you, Delaware nice, and I'm telling you it's hard to win at Delaware. But guess what? This is the real sleeper. St. Francis, I got the upset at Delaware. St. Francis is going to the second round. Here's why. The players to watch. St. Francis, they are going to run the ball in so many different ways with so many different surfaces. How much are they going to run the ball, Coach? Well, here's a little clue for you. I'm just going to rattle off the players to watch for St. Francis, okay? All right, here's why. They have 5 running backs close to 500 yards or over. I'm going to let that sit. 5 of them? Yeah, 5 of them, fam. 5 running backs with almost 500 yards or more? How does that happen? So wait a minute. 5, 10, 15, 20, 2,500 yards of rushing offense? Look, this is, yes, it is power. Yes, they're running the ball, but there's some nuances to these surfaces that they're putting out there. I've had to defend it. It's a pain in the neck to defend, and they got a quarterback who is a running back, and he got just enough flick on his arm. We got 1,000 yards. He got 1,000 yards in the air. I'm shocked he does not have 1,000 yards on the ground, but that's because they have almost 2,000 yards in their stable of running backs. Shout out to my man, Coach Downs, who used to always keep him a stable of backs. So if 1 go down, 2 is even doper. If 2 go down, you'll be like, where did they get 3 from? Who is this dude? 3 go down, you go see 4 and be like, oh, Yo, what are they doing over there? Shout out UPN. They did not win the Ivies, but they running back. Trey Flowers, it's not your time, but you did it, dog. All right, so anyway, St. Francis. Here, I got into that because we talked about game. St. Francis, if you are a coach and you want to get some creative run game in your playbook, watch this game. St. Francis is going to show you how to run the ball on a team that by all right should dominate them, but because they have four running backs touching the ball at 400 yards and multiple touchdowns, and they quarterback at 400 yards. So here you go. Okay, Lovell Armstead, he got 463 yards on 100 carries. Chrisan Holmes, he got half those carries. He got 445 yards. You see where this is going? Damian Horton, he has more carries than Chrisan. He got 325 yards, right? At 78 carries. Then you got Cole Doyle, who is the quarterback. He got 50 carries for 315 yards. And he also thrown the ball for almost 2,000 yards. I'm telling you, St. Francis got something up their sleeve, and those are the players to watch. They all are running backs. If a tailback goes off, it's because Delaware respected this. If a tailback goes off on Delaware, it's because Delaware did not respect their opponent. If Delaware respects their opponent, they should beat St. Francis. I want it documented. Delaware is a better team, but I'm going with St. Francis by 3 because that run game, because of the run surfaces, and because I've only got out of those games as a coach. I've coached in that league. I've went to the second round in the playoffs in that league. And I've had to beat a St. Francis before they became what we see today. They're here today because they have perfected them run surfaces. And I'm telling you, any of my players who have ever played against St. Francis know you got to buckle it up this week because all they tailbacks are dope. And they've never had 5 straight dope tailbacks like this. Like, they've had 1, 2, and the quarterback was always a great athlete and a good runner. But they never could have the guy that could flick it along with that. They found it. And I'm telling you, upset alert right there. St. Francis over Delaware by 3. You heard it here. And why? Because they're running the ball. This is going to be a fast game. It's going to be a boring game. And because of all of that, now, if you're the defense, if you're Delaware's defense, you should get cranked. You should be ready to crank it. If you're Delaware's defense, if you're the blue head defense, and because everybody watching their opponent right now, as we speak, nobody going to class today, dog. The midterms and papers, all that should have been handed in already, bro. Everyone getting ready for their playoff game right now. Unless they got a test to go to. Delaware's defense just threw in this St. Francis cut up, and they like, yo, this is pretty throwback. Like, student body right, student body left. All right. Think it's a game if you want. If you want to get some run game ideas, watch this game. All right. Next game. And I'm just giving you my picks because my picks are the sleepers. My picks are going to be the upsetters. And my picks, you're going to be like, yo, Coach, y'all know what he's talking about. That's why you catch up with Coach. By the way, catch up with us at 1 o'clock. We're on thebigjab.com with the MANNIX brothers. We're going to recap college football on a larger level, and we'll talk some little local ball because we keep it local. All right, anyway. All right. So I gave you Elon. I gave you St. Francis. This one, and G, I love you, bro. Santos, I love you, bro. Y'all doing your thing, man. Oh, man, I wish y'all play. Y'all beat URI. Y'all be my other bro, right? Game recognized game. We ain't even talking about nothing other than y'all did that. I'm glad you did that in year 1, too, bro. You look, but you deserved it. The team deserved it. They earned it. Period. UNH. I met some good. I had some good fun in the stands at UNH too on the low. Good people. great atmosphere now. I hate to say this because I went in the vote. I looked at it. I evaluated both teams. Fordham, UNH, looked at both schedules, looked at the strength. Fordham did not win the Patriot League. So you're like, why are they even in the building? Because they are averaging 48 points a game. They're giving up 38 points a game, but the defense gets the stops when they need to get the stops, and that's all that matters to me. You're not shutting nobody out, cuz. So, like, hats off to that defense. But this offense, I don't know how they go. I look, and my D-line coach up there, Coach G, if you the D-line guy, and I watch their D-line, their D-line plays extremely hard. Their D-line is very good with their hands. The problem they D-line gonna have, they better get on this full court suicide menu right now. Because the way Fordham is throwing the ball, they throwing the ball, and he ain't getting hit a lot. Okay, start there. He ain't getting hit a whole lot. And the O-line is just okay. They not great. They do have a prospect, but I don't think he a guy. I think he'll get a shot. He may make a little camp. But this quarterback, yo, fam, I just want you to know this. If you throw 53 touchdowns and you've only been sacked 17 times, you know where you're going with the ball. Your receivers know where you're going with the ball. Your offensive line knows you're getting rid of the ball. And everything's just clicking. That's Tim DeMorat. This dude threw the ball for 4,500 yards, 53 touchdowns, 8 picks. Just in case, it's like, well, coach, if he threw 30 picks, who cares? No, he only threw 8 picks. And he had 7. And he's only been sacked 17 times. This is a problem, guys. This Fordham team is a problem. This Fordham team is going to be a problem for UNH. Players to watch. Obviously, the quarterback, Tim DeMorat. Trey Sneed. This dude got 1,000 yards. The backup running back, Julius, got 850 yards. And then they got 3 receivers with 1,000 yards collect like a piece with multiple touchdowns, each of them, right? Fotis Coco is actually Fotis Cocalius. I don't know. I'm sure they call him Fotis Coco, or they probably call him Coco. F. Coco. I don't know. This dude got 1,200 yards and 16 touchdowns. Carter, he got 1,100 yards, 12 touchdowns. MJ Wright, he got 1,000 yards, 10 touchdowns. These dudes remind me, I don't want to jinx them, because the last playoff Fordham team had to go to UMass and they ended up losing. But them receivers, I think that whole receiver crew and quarterback crew broke records that year. And consequently enough, whereas irony or the football guys may have it, this crew shattered their records. And the quarterback, shout out to John Skelton, who I think is a congressman, or I know he's in politics in Arizona. Shout out to John Skell, who was an NFL starter for the Arizona Cardinals. So whether you think he was good or not, bro, if you made it to the NFL and you made it to a starting roster, it wasn't about money. It was about talent. And when you can buy your quarterbacks today, even then, I mean, this is not about 7 years ago. And these receivers and these 2 tailbacks with this quarterback, unfortunately, I'm more connected. I don't even have no homies on the Fordham staff. None. I'm more connected with the UNH staff. And I just don't think they're going to be able to get it done. But if this defense balls out, because that's the X factor. They have some players on defense, but this defense got to make some plays. And it starts up front, is being a cliche. If Fordham is throwing the ball 45 times a game. If they can get to him, that's the only way UNH can beat Fordham right now. They have to get to that quarterback. And if they can't get to that quarterback, unfortunately, I'm going to tell you Fordham's going to take it back to the Boogie Down, the Bronx, and we into the second round after that because I just don't see where everything that they evaluate. Now, look, players got to play. People like me got to put it down on paper and talk about what's on paper. So, look, I'm not discrediting what could happen when the game take off. But being that I'm looking into all of the things I'm looking into, home field advantage even, that's going to play against New Hampshire because that defense is going to have to they're going to give up some yards. And I don't know that's going to kind of quiet the crowd. It ain't going to rev them up. And UNH ain't putting up the numbers of all like that. They're putting up numbers. They averaging, I think, 29 points a game, give or take. Stats are irrelevant. You either winning or you're not winning, they winning. And they here, and they got home, and they're at home field advantage. But I see Fordham being able to get this done. All right. Davis and Richmond. I'm going Richmond. North Dakota over Weber State. I'm going North Dakota. Gardner-Webb is back. They're going to Eastern Kentucky. Eastern Kentucky's hard to get to. Eastern Kentucky's going to win that one. Idaho at Southeast Louisiana. I'm going Southeast Louisiana. And Southern Missouri State. SOMO. I'll be John Brown. I'm going Montana. It's at Montana. And so that's my FCS college playoff pick'ems. I told you my upsets. If you want to put some dough on it and make a little bread, you feel me? Dough, bread? No? Forget about it. Go Elon over Furman. Go St. Francis to cover against Delaware. Go Fordham over UNH. Listen, my name's Coach Hall. We coming. Oh, my man Curtis Blow. Yes, we got to talk about the Lions, cuz you know we talking about the Lions. But we talk about the NFL in the afternoon hour, fam, because I go on the radio today at 1. So after the radio, we jump back on, and then we close out. The NFL, which is not for long. Because the playoffs are coming around. Detroit's coming around. Yeah. Hey, guys, listen. My name is Coach Malik Hall. This is Catch Up with Coach. You are officially caught up with NCAA FCS playoff football. Tune in at the Big Jab at 1 o'clock with the MANNIX brothers, thebigjab.com. I am Coach Malik Hall. I'll see you shortly. Peace.